Proper intro, of course. Something he hasn't heard in a while.
Unless he sits around his house and listens to it.
Well, maybe he's got this on on a shuffle kind of deal on his iPod. I wonder if you're.
I would if I had my own theme music. That's all I'd listen to.
I wonder if you're a big time superstar like Edge is. If you have this, like if you have your own entrance music, like when you walk in your house.
I would demand it.
You pipe it in, and
you go to a party, you make them play it when you walk in the door.
Yeah, you carry your own boombox everywhere you go.
You got to wait for it to kick in a little bit, right?
I'd also carry smoke bombs with me wherever I went and light them off.
And would you oil your body up as well?
Absolutely. Why not? The whole deal.
What's up, Edge?
How you guys doing?
We got to give you the proper intro, of course. Big time.
It's actually my alarm clock in the morning.
You got your alarm clock programmed, huh?
Yeah. As soon as it goes off, like I set it this morning so I can get up and do. And the music hit. Whoa, where's my trench coat?
And then you got the smoke that covers the area, and you get the pyro, and any girl that's staying with you has to know how to get out of the way of the pyro and the whole 9 yards.
Get dive out of the way.
And you got Jim Ross giving you the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, Edge is getting out of bed right now. Now, let me ask you a question. How tweaked are you, Edge? I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while, and how bad is it? You tore an Achilles heel, and supposedly it was pretty damn bad.
It wasn't fun. It was the most painful injury I've had.
Now,
more painful than the neck, more painful than anything else I've had.
Now I've heard during the Achilles, at least this is what I've heard in the past. When it snaps, it actually can roll up into your calf, and they have to unroll it back down. Yeah. Is that true?
Well, it can roll up or it can roll down. If it rolls down into your heel, it's actually a more difficult surgery. Luckily, mine rolled up. So
literally, it snaps, and it's it's a tight tendon there so it rolls up into your calf and basically plumps up your calf. So they go in and they roll it back down.
They roll it back down, and if you're lucky, it just tears. Mine was shredded. It was like someone lit dynamite in there. They had to put fiber inside of fiber. It was really expensive, a lot of stitches inside. But I got it done by James Andrews up in Birmingham.
That's where that's where Triple H is gone, and all the boys go. Well, and even like football players and basketball, they all go to Andrews.
Well, I think he did Favre 3 days before me, and it's like, okay, I feel good about that.
Were you marking out a little bit, trying to see Favre?
Actually, and I know you're a Favre guy. Actually, I wanted to ask you, so is it Green Bay or is it Favre now?
Well, I'm going to be a Packer fan for life, but I really like that Favre has come back, because you can't ever challenge a redneck, and that's what he is. And you can't, kind of like you're kind of a northern redneck, and, when people challenge you and all the trials and tribulations, like when women have challenged you, you always come back stronger. I mean, I don't know, you're like 5 or 6 wipes deep women deep right now, but I mean, it's like they never can bury a real modern day hillbilly like yourself.
Yeah, I like to call myself a hoser, which is a Canadian version of a redneck.
Yeah, exactly. But I really, I'm really pissed off at the Packers and how they handled the guy. I mean, he's probably arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to live, and that kind of guy, he has special considerations, just like a Rock or a Hogan or a Stone Cold. There's just certain people that get within their industry that can come and go as they want, and Favre happens to be that. Happens to be that guy, in football. Growing up, you were a big wrestling fan. I think Randy Macho Man Savage and Hogan and.
Well, Hogan was my guy. I loved so many of the guys. Kurt Hennig and Savage and Steamboat and all those guys. But Hogan was the guy that really caused me to go, whoa, what is this thing? Because up until that point, it was Kiss, and it was comic books, and it was dinosaurs, and then I saw Hogan, and that was pretty much the end of it.
Now, oddly enough, how many people you think grew up, having an idol like Hulk Hogan, and then went on? I mean, probably none went on then to at one time have a tag team champion with him. You and him had the straps at one time.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody else, because he's only won it once.
Right. Yeah.
So I was really lucky in that respect. And the cool thing was too, is I've always said this, you grow up and you really look up to somebody, and then you meet them, and it can be one of two things. Either you got these such huge expectations that they can't possibly live up to it, or they really disappoint you, that kind of thing. But he was always very cool. He was really laid back, and it was fun, as a colleague, but also as a fan. After I'd tag him and roll out, and I'd be selling on the apron and just watching him do the Hulk up thing, and I'd get caught up in it too. You could watch the match where he won the tag titles, and I looked like a little kid.
He always tells you to slow down because he always tells you to slow down because he's an old timer and everybody tends to work too fast for him. First time he wrestled Angle, he's like, man, you need to slow down, brother, lighten up. What were you gonna say, Spice?
Well, I was gonna say, you talk about the good guys you meet, but what about the ones that you met that maybe weren't so cool? You looked up to, and then you meet them, and it's very, very disappointing. Who was that in particular guy?
Like some of those old timers, Adam, they'll get kind of stiff, and they're like, you haven't paid your dues, and you haven't done, this and that. So, has there been any of those back on, over the time?
Everybody's been pretty cool. Like I remember though, I had Vader in his last match for WWF, and he was putting me over, and I don't think he was real fond of the idea. So I caught some clubs in that one. I just fired back, and as soon as you fire back, he kind of backed off, and from that point, it was it was a tight match, but it was fine. Generally, though, by the time, I encountered a lot of those guys, I had done something in the industry, so you whether it's begrudging or not, they kind of respect you. And thankfully, the guys that I encountered before I'd really done anything really, kind of took me under their wing. Bret Hart kind of helped crack the door open for me into the WWE, and he didn't have to do that, So I got lucky with the guys that I did meet. They were all pretty cool to me.
Now, did you go up at Monday Night Raw last night in Jacksonville? If you're this close, does Vince like you to be back in the back, or are you rehabbing?
I'm rehabbing. I'm at home. I'm with my dogs, and although they're starting to get me busy, I fly to Vegas tonight for some appearances, and then I get back from there, go to Paris. Get back from there, go to Australia. But after that, I gotta start bearing down. The rehab's been going really, really good, and I think because of that, I'm starting to do these promotional trips. But I got to remind them, hey, I'm trying to get back to work here.
Now, have they given
great,
Edge? Have they given you a time frame as to when you might be able to maybe get in the ring?
It's tough. It's such a weird injury, and I didn't really know the full extent of it, obviously, until you do it. But they said anywhere from 6 to 9 months. Or it could be the end of your career. It's kind of tough to tell. And I was like, hey, okay. Being a competitor, my mindset is, okay, 6 months and I'm back. It's kind of out of your control in some respects because, I'm going to be 36. So
you're getting old as hell.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, but the one thing I don't know if people know this about Edge, man, and Brent knows. Brent, you know Edge. He has been so smart with his money. That I hope that you don't get mad at me, Adam, for saying this, but I mean, literally, you could almost work through your contract and not have to worry about money because you've been so smart about it. Am I right?
Yeah, I've always, my one rule of thumb is never buy it unless I got it in the bank. And I've always stuck to that, and that's, always been worked out good for me because I don't owe anything at the end of the day, and if I had to, I could, what's the old adage, work at a gas station or whatever. So, we'll see, how this holds up. If it ends up that I can't come back because of it, or if I feel like when I try to come back, it's just not up to par because I don't want to be in there trying to keep up with young guys and not be able to do it, then I'm okay with calling it a day,
Well, actually, the triple Canadian threat that we have down here in this area, you, Jericho, and Christian have all been pretty damn smart. Well, obviously Christian not by his doing, by the German bookers doing, and then I think Jericho, he just makes so much damn money that you can't have about a whole bunch left somewhere laying around. But
yeah, he's a multimedia juggernaut now. Man,
so. He twits about every 16 minutes. I'll tell you that right now, man. It's nonstop with that guy. By the way, he's the best, man. But you guys have all three been real smart with your money, and it's really a tribute, a testament as where you guys. A lot of guys that have made the kind of money you guys have made have blown it and just been stupid about it, and you guys have been real smart about it.
Well, yeah, and I guess you go through your phases or whatever. I went through a phase or a year there where I dabbled and let's try the Hummer with the rims and the this and the that, and that's just not my scene. You know, I drive a Jeep. That's me. You know, I'm not a fancy guy.
Then you went to this one little craze, this marriage craze. That puts a little damp.
I came out of that virtually unscathed.
That puts